Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division Normandy 44 video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you something unprecedented. This is an incredibly rare 10 versus 10 on none other than Sword. This is such an incredible map. It's not quite the first 10v10 map that Eugen ever made, but it is one of the best. And it is historically accurate and absolutely gorgeous. They also used it to make many of the other maps we know and love in Steel Division Normandy 44. So this was Pegasus, for example, and Pegasus Bridge is down here on the map, as you can see. And then we have like Wiström up here, but Colville was another map that was taken out of this one. So that's these two towns here. I believe this one's actually Colville. But anyway, going to be playing with the Festung Groß Paris today, and I'm going to be rolling out with a few Bewerungs. I've got them backed up by a Feldgendarmerie. I've got a couple of IG-18s, a couple of Panzer 1Bs, some AA, Panzerschreck, and I also decided to bring in a Ju-188 at the start. Now I just want to say a big thanks to Tille for getting the community together for this 10v10. It's been a while since I played a 10v10 on Steel Division Normandy 44, and it's great to be able to bring it to you guys. The last time I played a 10v10 was on stream with Protoss, I believe, for his charity stream, which was a little while back now. But this one, bringing to you guys as a replay commentary. The Ju-188 is going to be coming in from the start. The plan with this was to pin down my enemy forces, so I could then surrender a few of them at the start, and if I hit it right, then it could be incredibly devastating. Now these Ju-188s, they don't do a lot of damage. Like the 50-kilogram bombs, they don't really hurt that much, but they do pin very well, since they are quite concentrated. Well, they're relatively well spread, but concentrated enough that they do pin well. So bombs away, and it's going to hit pretty much perfectly onto Grazier. So Oberblitz zooming forwards, going to pin down one unit, going to pin down 2 units and surrender them. These 2 units don't end up surrendering because of the M3A3. This is a leader, so it's stopping all of these units from surrendering. The Bewerungs, I'm going to jump them into the building here. We're going to engage this leader unit to take that out, and I'm going to try and get my Bewerungs here to move forwards to kill the M4A3, but this left Bewerungs whiffs 2 shots. It whiffed one onto the half-track, whiffed one onto the M3A3. Thankfully, this other squad doesn't miss, kills the M3A3, allows us to surrender the last of the voltages there, and we got off to a really, really nice start. And Panzer 1B and the IG have been engaging the M5 half-track on the left here. IG-18 going to be taking the last shot and finding the kill. Very nice indeed. Yeah, these Panzer ones, you can't underestimate them. They are only machine gun tanks at 30 points, but they pin down enemy forces really quickly, and they can do a decent amount of damage when they get close and get decent veterancy. So it's really allowing the Bewerungs here of Maniac to get a lot of damage done. And one thing you got to notice is that even though this is a 10v10, the score is actually still 50-50. And that's because a lot of the players were veterans of the Steel Division Normandy 44 community. So it was actually a pretty well-balanced 10v10, which is something that doesn't always happen. But for this game, it was awesome. Unfortunately, my Panzerschreck is going to go down here on the left. I was trying to move it forwards. It got killed in the open, trying to make more ground. My Landesschützen on the right-hand side are going to get pinned and taken out. I think I called them Ersatztruppen earlier, but in this division, they're Landesschützen. They're going to move up on the left side, though, as well. My Bewerungs try and jump forwards. The Pioneers absolutely melt them. They have two flamer units here. I've got to be super careful against these, because they've got Thompson machine guns as well, or submachine guns I should say. So my Bewerungs, when they jump forwards, they do take a lot of damage, even though they have their own Beretta, which is a decent MG. Got a Panzerjäger on the way. Panzerjäger is intended to take care of a lot of these half tracks. I don't have much in the way of like close range AT. And the Bewerungs have the Haftoladen, And I did have a Panzerstreck, but obviously the Panzerstreck died. So I'm kind of dependent on Atago's Stossstrup here to have the Panzerfaust. And also my Panzer 1B to pin down and force back any other half-tracks. And you can see, without infantry AT, the enemy half-tracks can really run at you hard. And that's what happened to my poor Landeschützen there on the left-hand side. Atago does have this SBW 221. And this has a Panzerbuchse on it, which is interesting. These can be really, really good for cleaning up light armored targets like these half-tracks, because they have enough armor that they don't get pinned very quickly. And they have the 8 AP that they can then use to engage enemy forces, so it's really nice. Motorized rifles on the left, getting chased down by my Panzer 1. This Panzer 1 was just going on a bit of a drive over here, taking out the recon and these motorized rifles from Elm the Cat. But yeah, Beverlong's just trying to stay hidden for the time being. 221 of Vatago's going to try and help us out. Gets a nice ammo storage hit there and blows up the half-track. Nicely done. But more infantry on it their way. And the idea is I'm going to time this with hopefully another bombing strike. Got another Panzerstreck on the way as well, so that I can clean up the enemy armor. And yeah, we were off to a pretty good start in the town. In the mid, like J-Dog's struggling a little bit against the elite infantry forces of Seb. Further to the right, there is a couple of salients poking out near the canals. On the right, things are going okay, except for maybe the far right, where Tille and Stannenberg are pushing in hard against Houston, and also Private Chinchilla. But back to our engagement in the town here. We have the Beverlongs doing very, very well, putting down a lot of damage against these infantry at range. I've just got to make sure that I keep that range against the flamers, because that's going to cause me issues. Meanwhile, the Panzerbuchse now trying to have a go at the M10. The M10, though, with that 13 AP, certainly going to put the hurt onto the 221 if it hits. The new Panzerstreck arrives. Landeschützen trying to move forwards, but constantly pushed back. Thankfully, the Beverlong's still able to do plenty of damage, and all the while trying to get my Panzer 1B to move forwards into positions where they can also provide fire support without being in line of sight of the enemy M10 here. The Pak-38's also joined us on this right hand side. Hans-Jäger managed to take out the WC-52, so that was good. I do have to be kind of careful about the French here, because the French are actually an incredibly offensive division. So I've really got to time my pushes right, because otherwise I can get really overrun by an abundance of half-tracks and medium armor. So here comes another Ju-188. I don't have any units really that are good at surrendering stuff, but I did have the Panzer 1B. So that's what I'm going to use this time around to try and push up the road. I get the bombing strike to at least pin the M10. It actually kills off the Volger. And these pioneers can't really do much against Panzer 1B. So able to get the surrenders in here. Both the pioneers get surrendered. Unfortunately, there's a bazooka. That doesn't get pinned by the bombing strike. But I am going to be able to kill it with the Beverlongs if I manage to get line of sight. So that's what I'm hoping to do. Meanwhile, on the right, Landeschützen finished off the Jeep. And Seb's now going to come in and help Grazy with his P-51 Mustangs. Get a couple of bombing strikes onto my infantry. That does pin down this Beverlongs. Thankfully, the bazooka can't really surrender them. Half-track's now trying to move up on the left side. Stossstrup are going to be able to engage with the Panzerfaust. Stops them coming along and pinning these down and surrendering them all. Because my Feldgendarmerie is currently pinned, so if he were to pin the rest of these, he could just charge forwards and gets lots of surrenders. Yeah, thankfully this little bit of support from Atago with the Stossstrup is preventing me from being overrun right now. And the 221 still going to work. Actually bouncing the M5A1 though. This thing has really nice rate of fire, so able to just keep firing. 15 round per minute rate of fire to kill off that half track, or at least try. Now comes across in line of sight of the M8. The M8, however, does have the 50 cal, which is going to force that 221 to fall back. Managed to get a nice sneaky grenade forward onto another Jeep there, but not in range to hit the M8 with the next one, which was unfortunate. But again, I have got a really nice position, and the bombing strike did help me make more ground in the town. Spitfire does come in with a strafing run. I probably should have just kept them in the building, because it would have taken less suppression. But our opponents currently sitting at the +1, mainly I would say due to the right side. There's Dunnenberg and Tille doing a good job here. Also, Elms managed to push through on our left. So overall, our opponents do have the advantage currently. Black 38 taking a shot towards the Cromwell 5 and the Stuart here. Not able to find a kill, unfortunately. Still coming under fire from Seb and Gravy on my Landers Schützen, and my infantry's getting constantly mortared here, which is definitely making it difficult for me to push up. I did bring over a Pack 40 on the left. I also brought up a B2. I believe I was supposed to bring this B2 up into the town, but it ended up with an attack move order on the left-hand side. This is a very... I wouldn't call it a bug, but basically when you accidentally mouse over the map and then it like deploys your unit like in the corner. It's kind of odd. Anyway, B2 was trying its best on the left and was supporting Bottas L6s quite nicely actually. Time for another JU-188. Spitfire is already there to help support. But here goes again with the Panzer 1B and the Panzerjäger 35. Spitfire just going to get forced back in time. And the JU-88 lives to fight another day. So I've stopped my Panzerjäger. That's going to be trying to get on line of sight of either of these units. Manages to kill at least the M8, so not a complete waste of a bombing strike. And the thing is, every time I make one of these bombing strikes, I've got to make ground. Especially since we are at a disadvantage as a team, I was really hoping to just continuously capitalize on my pushes through the town so that I could kind of spearhead a salient in the front line. But obviously, easier said than done. Panzerjäger here going to be helping support through the gap here. I put it here on purpose so that it could fire towards this little junction in the road. Wasn't really doing as much as I would have hoped. I've also brought in a JU-188 here. I ended up bombing the SB autocar because it was hiding behind the tree line. The Marders and the Stugs and stuff managed to kill one of the units, and then the autocar's forced out of position so it can't retaliate. I've got Pack 40 just continuously pushing up, and that's going to basically provide a base of fire from which Maniac here can push back into Elm. Because Elm's playing the 7th Armoured, which is a really, really difficult division to play into. And if you're not really prepared for it, you can get punished really, really hard. And it looks like Maniac here definitely suffering to the large amount of 50 cals and the Cromwells and stuff that the 7th can get at the start of the game. Panzer 1B going to go down to enemy armour. Got the first of the scary Shermans coming in from the French. Also P51 from Seb coming in with a bombing strike once again, and the M10's going to be able to take out my Flak 39. So things not going as well as they could have, and obviously the M4A2 here getting the internal fragments onto the Panzerjäger 35R. I did manage to kill the Stuart here with the Pack 38, so that was something, and I'm now going to be able to engage the Cromwell 5. 2 Pack 38s here engaging that, so that's good. It's going to be falling back, and with this one dying I lose line of sight, so that was a bit unfortunate. Able to kill a leader though. up here, which was really good because it's taken away a lot of the veterancy that some of these units had. I've got more infantry on the way to kind of just hold the line until I can get more bombers forwards. Another P-51 though, really not helping out things, especially since my AA just died. Some more AA going to be brought in. The Flak 37 and also the big boy Flak. Those are going to definitely help hold the skies a little bit better. Pack 38, still trying to kill that Cromwell on the left there. And Pack 40 helping pin down the motorized rifles further up. Yeah, I was just trying to help stabilize this left side. I noticed there wasn't any recon here, so I am bringing up the Speertrupp, just as Maniac brings up his own Panhard MG with probably like Aufklärer. Yeah, these are 2-star Speertrupp, so they will be able to provide nice information on the enemy tree lines and allow us to continue to push back there. But the right side definitely was collapsing pretty hard as well, so I was a little bit stretched then. Anyway, Ju-188 going to be coming in with a bombing strike once again, and it really was the Ju-188 show in this game. They were finding it very difficult to show these down. Like, that might look like a lot of AA, but it's mostly just 50 cals. Nice kill though onto the M4 there. I believe that was from Atago's Stug 4. It's going to be looking for the M22 kill as well. Finds that, very nice. And after that bombing strike, my ROA are the ones to now follow up. These ROA are basically Russian prisoners of war, I believe, that were taken to fight on the Western Front and going to be engaging the M8 there. They've got their Russian weapons, the PBSH, super good at close range. These are actually really scary units, particularly with decent veterancy. And they come in at 1 vet, so you can give them extra vet with the Feldgendarmerie if you get them close enough. So again, managing to kind of break down a lot of this unit thanks to Atago's Stug here. Panzerjäger trying its best to kill a Cromwell 7. Not really the best matchup for it, unfortunately. And I'm going to lose that tank. Ideally, I would have been wanting to bump into like Cromwell 5s, not Cromwell 7s, because Cromwell 7s are kind of difficult to deal with due to the 11 front armor. But since there's more armor arriving, I'm going to invest in some of my armor. And the Festung Großparis can actually bring in some pretty nice armor pieces. You can get access to Panthers late game. And you also have some decent medium armor. So the Panzer IV coming in here with the 2 vet, thanks to the SPW 233. And I've also got the Puma that's got 3 vet as well. Just really good for cleaning up a lot of this light armor. Ju-188 again coming in with the bombing strike. Hoping to get really far up in the enemy. Got the Panzer IV kind of fast moving to capitalize on anything that's been pushed out onto the road because it's falling back. The sappers here causing a little bit of a problem against my ROA. Meanwhile on the left, these ROA currently doing okay against the rifles, but yeah, Panzer IV ends up engaging the M4A2. I end up backing it up because I think it took a bazooka round towards it. Puma's now going to have its go. Unfortunately bounces. It's always cool to see those bounces come off. I think in Still Division Omni 44 the bounce animation is so cool because of the like trail that it leaves. It's kind of nice. RO8 do obviously go down there, and the Landesschützen going to continue their engagement against the rifles. These ROA probably should have been falling back, but the M36 now providing some decent AA. With the extra veterancy, these can be really strong. Shooting at the Mustang up there. Right, Pack 38 going to be hitting the M5 half-track. Still continuing with this infantry engagement. Still got my Pack 40 moving up on the left with the Speertrupp. But meanwhile over here, my B2 unfortunately went down. I believe when I was actually playing the game, I had no idea that this was going on, so it's kind of funny to see where it ended up. It actually got way further up than I thought it would. But it has been counter-pushed now by Centauri, and on the right, things still not doing too great. So going to be bringing up an Opal Blitz. I've also got an S307 pack. These S307 packs, like basically just a pack 40 on wheels, and these things are actually pretty strong, especially since it comes in at 2 vet. It can really kill a lot of units very easily. But this is an ROA unit. I was sending it all the way over to the right hand side. I'd been checking this out previously, like while I was playing. I saw there was like a little infantry squad in here, so I was going to go send the ROA to go take that out just to kind of give my team a hand. The M4 does end up going down. My infantry lose this engagement on the left though. So the town, I'm kind of losing the initiative here. I am bringing up more infantry to be able to push up again, but it's going to be difficult because I'm investing my bombers, as you can see, onto the right hand side, and they're going to pin down this entire push. It was actually pretty good. I also killed off, I think, at least one of those M3 half tracks, and this is going to allow the Pack 38 to clean up a lot of these kills. So S307 pack trying to kill the leader, but getting rid of that leader gets rid of a lot of the veterancy further forwards, which is really nice. Yeah, decent bombing strike kind of prevents that push for the time being, but again, kind of takes the initiative away from me in the town. I do have the ROA, and with the leader nearby, the VulcanHDGaming, I am able to get a lot of damage down with them. I did just purchase another bomber to accompany one that just reloaded, so those are coming in now to help us out as well. Gonna get a nice Panzer IV driver wound onto this M8, and that's gonna get taken out. This M8 spy can be like super oppressive due to the 50 cal. But decent bombing strike is going to pin down both sides of the town. I don't really have much to follow it up. I don't want to charge forwards with my Panzer IV and get it bazookaed. That would be bad. So not really much other options. But artillery coming in hard for my AA now. Flak 36 got taken out. The M36 is going to have to fall back. But I have brought up another M36, so it's not so bad. The VulcanHDGaming finally dies just as I bring up another one to replace it. That was good timing. Puma looking to kill the M5 half-track there. Does manage to find it. And meanwhile on the left, my Spätrupp has managed to get really far up, and with that extra veterancy you can see it spotting a ton of the stuff on the other side of this tree line. Pack 40 just going to be chilling further back though, in order to cover off the roads in between the tree lines, as not really much else I can do there. I've got the S307 pack just sitting in the edge of the cover here to cover that right hand side. And the ROA are on an attack move order to the right now as well. So Panzer IV, just trying to maneuver that around the town to help kill off these half tracks that are engaging my infantry with the enemy infantry. And now more Landeschützen on the way. JU-188, here comes another. And using these on cooldown, super important. And the nice thing is, because I've got both of these M36 up, if they try and bring out a fighter to shoot this down, generally I can force back the fighter before this dies. Unless the enemy fighter is going to be like high vet, but usually they aren't. Nice kill though. Onto the M10. Bombing strike coming in hot. Is going to pin down quite a lot of units. And it's going to allow me to run forwards with my infantry. But I am, of course, focusing in multiple locations, so probably could have tried to capitalize more here. But the Landeschützen end up getting unloaded anyway due to the 50 cal on that M4. So 88 S307 pack engaging on the right hand side. We've also got Nispel arriving. I really always liked the camo on this King Tiger. It's the Ace King Tiger. Very, very nice. And it's absolutely demolishing a lot of the armor on this right hand side. Just needs to be careful, probably needs a bit more infantry support, so thankfully he's bringing that up there. Right, Spätrup pinned down here. My Pack 40 did finally die due to the M7. I was trying to engage the M7 with the Pack 40 just to kill it off, but the M7 went down too fast, so that was unfortunate for me. Puma now trying to get the better of the M4A2, because this is of course an off-map vehicle. I'm now being hit by a Calliope as well. Puma just really struggling to get through the front armor there. Because it's 10 AP against 10 armor, it basically has no penetration at max range. But if it can get closer, then it will start to have a penetration chance. I mean, here comes the off-map. Takes out 2 of my infantry squads. There's a jeep rushing forwards. That's Tille coming over to help out, using the flamethrower to try and get on top of my units while they're pinned. Cheeky little move there, just like I was doing with my bombers throughout the game. Does force me back further though. I'm going to have to get my ROA to do a runner as well. So I've got a bunch of infantry over here. Going to be unloading them to help with the King Tiger as well eventually. Puma still getting hit by more of those Calliope shots. And decided to use my bombers over on the left to give Potter's here a hand. He did push around the corner with a couple of his Stugs, but my bombers helped pin down the AT gun that would have continued to hit him. He's going to move forwards and take the opportunity to kill the M4A1. And that's a good kill. So that should give him the chance to push back now on the left hand side. And it's funny how often you see the games go back and forth like this. Like this happens a lot in 1v1 as well, where basically one player will push in, make a set play, and then the other player will push back. In this case, of course, we kind of gave Potter a little bit of a hand there. But since this M1 gun's already like half pinned, we should be able to get away with killing that. And then be able to continue his push. Meanwhile, I did kill a P-51 Mustang in the middle. My flak M36s landing those direct hits to get the job done. And I've kind of semi-recovered from the off-map now. There's probably going to be another one coming down soon. And the Landeschützen unloaded and pushing forwards on the right hand side, and my ROA still holding this position on the far right for the time being, so that was good. Just trying my best to kind of support the map as best I could. Now in true 10v10 style, the enemies actually had an AI from the start. I believe it was like Twinus who went down, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, he basically disconnected at the start. So they were doing very, very well considering. I do end up losing my Puma, which sucked. IG's trying to engage the M5A1, not really having much luck. Here comes the P38. Smacked in the face by the M36s. The velocity of those shells is so fast. It's ridiculous. Yeah, we got into the late game now, so I'm reliant more on my Panzergrens. And these Panzergrens, they're not too great in town engagements, because if the enemy gets close, I can't use the MG42s, and then you have a problem. But the Panzer IV, definitely helping kill off the rifles here. Here comes Tille with a lot of points. And Tille was pushing forwards on the right with Stannenberg, but was obviously not being under too much pressure, so ended up spending a lot of points in building up a push to come for me, and Now I got to deal with it. IG-18 coming under pressure, going to get pinned down, going to get surrendered. M36 also going to come under fire next. This is an M16 MGMC, so it has a quad 50 cal. Pins down any light armored targets or light targets very quickly. You can see that M36 not lasting at all. My infantry towards the town does get pinned until he's making a lot of ground here. Thankfully I had brought up a Stug 3 already, and I'm going to have my Ju-188 come in to try and bomb this push. So I drop the bombs behind the cover so that they're forced outside of the cover on the other side. It's going to make all of these half tracks move to the left so that my Stug can hopefully get line of sight and kill it. But with them falling back, prime targets for the Ju-87, and Otago is going to come and give me a hand here. Takes out the M8. Rockets are going to be coming in as well. Ju-87 going for the M4A1, takes that out. And then my Stug's going to be trying to take up the rest, but Otago comes in with a third Ju-87, or I think that's probably actually the same one. Came round for a loop and got another kill there. Now I had to drive forwards my Stug manually because it was getting pushed around by the flames. So the M3 half tracks actually end up getting quite far back and out of line of sight. Panzer IV does manage to hit one of the M3 half tracks, but here comes more shots from the Calliope, and it ends up pinning down a lot of my troops here. I got the Panzer 40 zooming up the road because I wanted to stop any half tracks coming down here and surrendering everything. Also, I did realise that there was infantry in here. I just didn't go wide enough, unfortunately. So it was a bit of a mistake on my part. Also, meanwhile, on the left, big air engagement. I did bring out a D520, which I think did shoot down a couple of enemy aircraft, but then got shot down itself, unfortunately. But we ended up winning that air engagement, so that was pretty nice. And in order to replace the Pak 40 that I originally had here, I brought up a Jagdpanzer to make it even more difficult. But the right-hand side definitely still causing issues for our team. And the Panzer IV here, almost getting surrendered. Thankfully the 2-3 keeps it from surrendering. I'm going to bring in double Ju-188 to try and kill as much of the infantry on the right as I can, but the Panzer IV eventually dies anyway to the M4A3, I think it was. This Ju-188 I bombed the supply truck with, so it could kill anything around it as well. Yeah, it was pretty rough. Anyway, Panther's going to arrive. I'm hoping that the Panther can make up for the failure that the Panzer IV was, because the Panzer IV didn't really kill much armor for me. It was a bit of a waste of space. But this Panther going to be bouncing his first shot against an M4A2, so I wasn't really going to have much hope, but hits the second shot nicely. So that's good at least. Meanwhile, we've got Klosterman destroying the Focke-Wulf 190 there. My AA in tatters at this point. Can't really stop a lot of this aircraft flying about. I did bring in Carl Gustav, but it got shot down. It was really sad. Really bad timing on my part. Going to be using my D520 to try and shoot down the P-38 Lightning. And I am going to be able to shoot it down. The nice thing about these D520s is they are super agile. So, able to take down the P-38, able to take down the Spitfire there with a little bit of a sexy roll. Yeah, Panther G now moving forwards, going to have to do a lot of work here. Got a couple of M4A3s it's got to deal with, and these M4A3s can kill Panther Gs at close range. And Panther G is going to just annihilate the M4A2. And I'm going to have to hope that my Landerschützen can clean out a lot of this infantry, because I don't really have much to deal with enemy infantry from here on, just a few more Panzergrenz. And as I mentioned before, Panzergrenz not too good at the close range engagements. Jagdpanzer does manage to take out the Abwehr Chantry. Targo's Ju-87's helping out on the left hand side to break open the line here, which is recovering us some of the territory. Like, we're making ground back on the left, while still unfortunately losing ground on the right. There's a cracking game so far. Only 5 minutes left on the clock though, so we have our work cut out if we want to win this one. 1,600 points behind, with 5 minutes to turn it around. Pack 38 going to try its best to get some armor damage down. Meanwhile, Panther G is able to find nice line of sight through to the M4A3. I'm going to be bringing down bombs on top of that, as well as the M4A1. P-38s coming in for the bombing strikes onto the Pack 38. We managed to kill it off. So I'm gonna move my Panther G round to the left side instead, so I can deal with that armor whilst I bring up some more infantry to plug the gaps in the town. I decided in the end to leave my Jagdpanzer here, currently just hiding in the bushes, able to fire down this road, this little gap in the forest, in the hedgerow I should say, or tree line, just to stop enemy from pushing out that way. Panzer 39 gonna get forced back. Panzer 39s are another unit that's really nice for dealing with enemy half-tracks. But in this case, having to deal with a lot of artillery fire coming down. Stug 3 going to be engaging the enemy AT gun. Stugs are actually pretty good at killing AT guns, particularly with the 2-vet. But in this case, only one more shot and it goes down. 2 damage a hit. Ju-188 coming in for the bombing strike onto the enemy armor here, so that my Panther can get the kill if that falls back either way. But it's falling back to the right, so I'm going to be able to get a brief line of sight. Unfortunately, it doesn't fire in time. And this 57 going to be able to take out my Stug. Let's check out this beast. Very cool indeed. I really love all the details when you zoom in Steel Division Omni 44. Like, just behind this, you've got the glider, and you've got the shot down P-51. Spitfire is going to be taking a lot of damage. Got triple Flak 36 here from a Targo. Going to be doing plenty of damage to the Spitfires. Right now I'm bringing up the Panhards, the SBW 204s, hoping that I can at least kill off some of these half-tracks so that my Panzergrenz and Landesschützen can continue the push forwards. They're doing okay. My IG on this left-hand side, absolute champion, was here for a lot of the game, killed a lot of stuff. Only 6 rounds left. 1 minute 50 left on the clock. Time for another bombing strike. Of course, we're not really going to win at this point, unless the entire enemy team surrenders. But the least I can do is give them some more bombs. Some bombs away. Oh, it looks awesome. Very nice indeed. Panther going to be moving forwards, looking for line of sight onto any of the retreating units. Not really able to find it very well. Does take the free kill onto the group of Spy though. Yeah, what a game this was. Just when you zoom out and you just look at the front line, I think it's just so cool. Yeah, we got pushed on the right side. That's unfortunate. But just the scale of these battles is just so cool. And Steel Division Normandy 44 was really the first Eugen game to have a map this big for 10v10. Like, yeah, you had 10v10s in Wargame, but even Asgard was nowhere near as big as this. That was the 10v10 map in Air Land Battle. I'm not even sure if Red Dragon had a specialized 10v10 map, but this map is just on another level. But Panther G going to be engaging the M4A2s, and the Calliope was coming in at the end there, but I'm saved by the belt. 40 minutes and a total defeat, unfortunately. But in the end, not too bad. I believe I got the most kills in the game. Yeah, 4,329 kills, 2,565 losses. But didn't do too bad. Didn't do too bad at all. Vandenberg, the player on the right-hand side, getting a lot of kills. Really sealing the deal for his team. I was just trying to support my teammates as best I could. But yeah, in the end, fantastic stuff. Just a great, fun game. And this J188 at the start, getting credited for a lot of surrenders. IG-18, that was one on the left that almost ran out of ammo. Cleaning up the half-tracks and the armoured rifles, bazooka, the Beverungs, doing so well for me. Killing a lot of infantry, pinning down a lot of infantry, getting surrenders in there as well. And also, of course, killing a lot of the enemy armor with those grenades. Well, they're not grenades, but magnetic mines that they throw in this game. The S307 pack, killing the Jumbo there and the Churchill 5 on the right. Definitely very helpful. The Panzer IV, yeah, it did do something at least. Maybe not as much as I would have liked it to do. Jagdpanzer on the left helped out a little bit, but then the Panther G coming in clutch, and probably should have brought this in sooner because it probably would have helped out quite a bit. And the D520 getting a couple of kills there for us as well. So in the end, fantastic fun. Big thanks again to Tille for sorting out the community and getting us all together for this 10v10. Really appreciate it. And that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.